Alright, Zach, so we forgot to show one lunch scene from last time, so let's show it now.
Sure, why not?
Will we be finishing the Sigourney side quest?
No. After this, it's all main plot.
Agent York, good food will put you in a good mind set for the big operation tonight. How about a nice lunch?
Wait, operation? I didn't know we were a doctor now.
Not that kind of operation. There are multiple meanings to that word.
Yeah,
Common word.
So we have established that we basically switch rooms whenever we're going to one. So
let's talk about Willie.
The same.
And speaking of smart, those twins are pretty bright too.
Those twins pretty bright too.
Play together.
As in clever.
Oh, you mean Kaysen's dog?
No, he's talking about the typo.
A smart
Yeah,
dog is
these
smart.
subs just do whatever the fuck we want a lot of times.
You really think so, George? I can think of a few police dogs that do a better job than their coworkers.
Ooh.
You're right. And dogs have no ambitions nor
I'm
prejudice.
surprised he hasn't made a Turner
Have you
and
not
Hooch
seen
reference.
Cats and
They
Dogs?
can be just as smart
Well, she's talking about
as
real dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Again, I'm surprised York hasn't brought up Turner and Hooch yet.
Georgie, by the sound of that, you sound like you don't like
Let me
dogs.
guess.
Yeah,
Oh.
hold on.
You're scared of dogs?
Oh, well, you see...
Not another word, Thomas.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
What happened?
Bad
between
memories,
you and the dog?
George. We all have our weaknesses.
Like me.
Exactly, yeah.
I can't.
Maybe he just
stand
doesn't want to
spiders
talk
myself.
about it. Come on.
Looking at one makes
Yeah, maybe he was attacked by a dog as a child or
Like
something. and it's
Yamato.
traumatized him.
No.
Spider-Man.
You know, arachnophobia.
No need to get all defensive now, is there, Zach? I thought both of them were pretty good, actually.
What year did this game take place again?
2005.
Ah, so
No,
yeah,
wait, no, wait, no,
Spider-Man
wait,
1
no,
and
wait.
2.
Hey,
Well,
no,
sorry,
Yeah,
2006.
good
Yeah,
actually, yeah,
sorry.
it makes sense.
2006.
2006. But so yeah, but
Same
one.
difference. Spider-Man 3 didn't come
Oh,
out until 2007.
poor York was not knowing what was awaiting behind the corner.
1 year before. What? What are you talking about?
Well, he said,
He said he liked both of them, but this was like 1 year before Spider-Man 3, so I can imagine York might have been disappointed by.
Well, that depends too, especially because as you've seen, York is a very forgiving movie critic.
Not
But
only
anyway.
that, Spider-Man 3 still did rate positively overall, and people for the most part.
Nick's still
Okay,
in the bar.
at this point, people consider it
Just as we
at
planned
worst
then.
a guilty
Well, I'm trying to
pleasure.
imagine what York might think of it.
Agent York.
Oh,
you're
York!
really
Oh,
enjoying
York's
this,
definitely the
aren't
kind
you?
of guy who would find some joy out of Spider-Man.
Oh, he would. No, he would too. He would. I agree. Anyway,
The car is shaking. I get it, simulating movement, but jeez.
okay.
Put your pedals
and
to
it's
the metal.
raining.
All right. So basically, we're gonna wait for Thomas. Oh, there you go.
What about Diane?
Oh.
Oh,
George.
Oh.
yeah. Go ahead. Check that with George.
George,
Emily, please.
can you hear me? Nick's leaving the bar. What's happening with Diane?
No movement. Tell me what to do here.
Stay put, George. I'm thinking Nick will head to the gallery.
Yeah, most likely.
Copy that.
Nick sounded rather distressed about that.
All right. So yeah, a change in the routine.
Still without an umbrella. God, that's a good rain.
Hey. So between this,
Doesn't even put this hoodie on.
between this and heavy rain, who's the cooler killer?
Okay.
Well, the mystery. Well, the killer in this, the killer's MO in this game actually makes sense. So.
What are you talking about, Pedro? To be fair, the Origami's killer MO made sense until
I'm sorry.
we actually found out the real motives behind it.
I can kind of understand the whole idea of a killer wanting to find a parent that will do what his couldn't do. It's just that, okay, so let me get this straight. Your brother got killed, so your reaction to that is to kill other little boys. Yeah, that makes sense. That somehow will make it better. Like,
Okay. In a good story, that would have been linked to his psychology here, but granted, I was talking more so about his MO rather than, his actual motive.
Not to mention the fact, Jova, that outside from one specific exception, where the heavy rain killer actually finds the fact that Ethan has managed to save Sean, he still wants to kill me anyway, because fuck you.
Not to mention...
Well, that's because, the dad, Ethan, probably refused to being his father, so he has to die, of course.
Not to mention, Jova, anyone who says, I'm a better writer than David Cage, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, if I go to the zoo, and the monkey sign languages me, I'm a better writer than David Cage, I would sign back, yeah, you're right. So...
Even Snyder.
Yes, I'm actually gonna go there, yes.
Okay, Zack Snyder can lose his mind in his messages every now and then, but by God, his plots are more coherent than David Cage's, and they don't resort to nearly as much wanton swearing. Like, I'll give him credit, when he uses swears, he actually just used them relatively creatively. David Cage just spews them thinking
Go fuck yourself in the ass.
This'll make me look
Well, I find that rather hilarious, but yeah, sure. Anyway, alright.
Yeah, I guess the focus of this mission is to keep the distance on the blue color.
Very good, Teo. Here's how this...
getting in the range.
Very good, Jova. Okay, so here's how it works. The yard. It says it's just how many yards it is away from you, and it's color coded for your convenience. As in, if it's orange, that means you're getting close, and therefore you should be careful. When it's blue, it's pretty much the ideal zone where you're not too far away at the same time, not too close. If you do allow yourself to, there you go. See, and I'm a bit too close right now, so I should slow down a bit. There you go. Now it's back to blue.
Anyway, my point with Heavy Rain was that the MO makes sense until you find out about the motive. The MO has to do with, the killer's patterns and whatnot. The motive is why he's doing that, essentially.
Honestly, the whole idea, of the whole thing to me is just ridiculous. But,
Well, hence why I said it's the motive that doesn't make sense. Now, the MO did have an interesting bout to it, but it got ruined because the motive just was bonkers when you actually think about the plot. Not to mention, like you also pointed out, that the killer being able to do certain things doesn't make sense because he wouldn't be able to fit for certain places without getting cut to ribbons himself.
Again, it's one of those things where you have to think before you write, David.
It really does feel like they were originally planning for something like Ethan to be the Heavy Rain killer, but...
Or something supernatural, like...
There was,
for example, like him, outside of him having his blackout, something actual, a supernatural force.
Well, that's a thing too. Like we've said we saw in the special features that we commented on. Like originally, the only supernatural element of Heavy Rain was going to be the physical, the mental connection between Scott and Ethan. But they dropped that because it would be quote unquote out of place. Oh, and the stuff in Fahrenheit was not out of place. Whatever.
Not just that, it's a general idea. It's like the worst outcome that could have happened. David, look at the fact that people were actually entertained by his more far out things in the wrong way and trying subsequently to dumb it down. This is this is also a thing that applies to other elements like the inner thoughts, the spamming of said inner thoughts, for example. For example, Detroit removes them completely when it would have been perfect actually to have them, just because probably spammed a lot of stuff like should have been in the kitchen cupboard in Heavy Rain. Same goes for the QTs with the Simon Says stuff, or they're more far out.
I don't know. I mean, considering it's a sci-fi story, I fail to realize how supernatural elements would be necessary to have in Detroit. Personally,
no, not necessary. But I think they would spice things up.
I don't know, like maybe I don't.
You have already an idea, for example, with the investigation that your Connor, I think, is doing.
Yeah,
implement also other holographic stuff, like something what's similar to Jade's. One of the protagonists' holographic glasses had in Heavy Rain. It's also a cool Easter egg on that.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So yeah, again, the whole point of this part of the game is you have to try your best to chase at the same time. Here's what happens: if you do fail, if you lose them, or if you get too close that he'll see you, Nick will go away, and you have to wait till the next day to try again.
Mind you, I'm surprised that he at this point is not noticing the visible police car that's sitting. I get it, it's raining and everything, but he should still be able to like see that it's like the one car that's consistently behind him.
It doesn't really matter.
Also, a very loud police car.
It doesn't really matter because this is very easy to do.
York's car, but wouldn't it have made sense story-wise for them to use an unmarked vehicle all of a sudden?
Well,
More discreet.
Well, the idea
heck.
is for him was not to be seen anyway. So even if we do get seen with the other car, it will still fail. So.
Well, I get that, but I mean, story-wise, it would make sense for them to use an unmarked vehicle. You know, heck, Emily herself used an unmarked vehicle when tailing someone earlier in the plot too. So.
Oh, here we go.
Well, actually, she did, Joa, but that Jeep that she was using was also a police Jeep.
Well, it didn't have the police siren or police decal on it, though. Again, hence it being an unmarked vehicle.
Oh!
Heck?
Sunday driver.
York has really bad luck when driving in the rain.
And Thomas is seeing his life flashing before his eyes.
I like how he crashes for this, but not for any of the shit we saw at the beginning of the game.
I think someone's putting a curse on all the cars I drive recently.
Damn.
All right.
Hey, at least this one didn't crash with the railing.
Don't want time to get serious. Hold on.
And you sound terrified, and I don't blame you.
All right, time to get serious.
Let's
For a second,
serious.
For a second, I feared that the game was gonna pull up. No, actually, we lost him anyway.
All right, so we were right. Nick did indeed go to the gallery.
George.
Of course.
No, he hasn't showed up here.
He hasn't?
Wait, what?
Diane, any movement?
No action.
Wait,
here at
but
all.
we were behind Nick. How has he not showed up yet?
Yes.
Okay.
But George, something's different about you. Are you okay?
Actually, I had a little drink while I was waiting. This is my first murder case.
You shouldn't drink on the job, Georgie.
It was
Hold
the
on,
move,
what
though.
kind of drink was
Still in
it?
control.
Totally. Whoa!
He's a bit on edge, like
you're-
he's a bit on
My
edge,
God,
like
you
he
look
said.
greasy.
It's because of the rain. That
I know. I was mostly referencing Simpsons.
I
Why
think
do
because
I-
of everything that's going on, no, because that dog story really traumatized him. Something's up with him.
Nick and
I have a
Diane.
bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I'm with York. It's way too easy for Nick to just for this just to be a complete no-show.
I haven't taken my eyes from the entrance all night.
Not that I don't trust you, George. But I'm positive Nick is here. Is there another entrance?
Not that I know of.
So a yes then.
Well, I'll go look for one. Help me out if you can, would you?
Answer the question.
Was there something I missed while?
No, we just we lost Nick because a truck got in our way. That's all that happened.
A
Yeah,
simple
we just
yes
got
would have been fine, Georgie. Come on.
All right, and there you go, Jova. Now you can see. Now you can see for yourself what happens. There you go. Every night at midnight, this happens in
Oh
Greenvale.
God.
Oh wow.
Crisis on Jova, it's the crisis on Infinite Earths. It's happening. Oh,
I
God.
know, right? Jesus
This-
Christ, red skies, lightning, and everything.
It's typical of these kinds of small town mysteries, murder stories that the town secretly hides a dark secret.
Does
So
anyone
much.
else see this? Oh. Nick's car.
So he is here. Just
Can the others see this?
they can.
Oh, so this is where the final segment of Persona 5 got it from.
Oh god, I wonder if this is like Umi Neko and everyone's in on it.
I was gonna say more Persona 3, except the sky's not green.
Well, the sky's red in Persona 5.
also, Jova, what are you talking about? Witches do not exist.
Yeah, it's not like you'll end up marrying a witch or something.
Also, how dare you say that in this
Oh,
month?
great! The zombies are already in the
yeah.
backyard.
Hey guys, I could use some backup here.
It's a good thing I'm a Jedi.
Sorry, Agent York. Okay, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a good thing I'm a Jedi.
Seriously. Well, yeah, he's got the hood and everything. Seriously, does no one else see this? or hear this. Let me guess, the way back is blocked.
Well, let's see.
Well, it depends if you'll turn around.
Also, Jova, you know what they say for Umineko, witches ain't shit but holes in tricks. So.
Well, someone sure fell for Beatrice.
Oh, crap.
Oh.
Oh.
Too much red energy is dangerous. Okay, can you wait a second for the personal space, please?
Alright.
Yeah, probably time to bust up instead the... Oh.
Oh, actually, it's raining. It's raining, so I should switch the weather doll down so that my health will regenerate.
I thought you were gonna bust out a firearm instead.
Or maybe a bandage, brand bandage. So I could use it.
What the hell? Was that zombie powering up a Kamehameha?
With his gun, yes.
Yes. There you go. Alright, so let's see. Oh, look, a trading card!
Let's get it!
So the zombies...
Oh, Nick's card.
Next card. Okay.
So the zombies now show up outside, and pretty much in the vicinity of other people who should hear this.
Yeah, not even like... This was... to be fair, the first level of this was in the middle of the woods, so it wasn't really in a close space.
Yep.
True. Yeah, it's been a while since that.
The thing, however, that all these things had in common was that it was in places where only York was around. Sure, the hospital had maybe other people, but we're all in different rooms.
Whereas now, anyone else could probably hear us.
It was actually near the vicinity. There wasn't like a clear division of that. Yeah, look, see, like
we literally see their markers and everything.
Oh, look, a curious little shack. Let's see what's in it.
Red
is it mysterious?
Let's see.
This is probably the secret way to the gallery.
All those hoops you have to jump through, though.
A cabin in a horror game.
Look at that. Well, Shiroi, typical horror tropes. Look at that, an underground passage.
Definitely not obvious.
Perfect.
Oh, hello.
Hey, did you also fight the way to the zombies?
Pardon the dozens of corpses.
Oh, here.
I'm not gonna fight you about this anymore. But promise me this. If there's trouble, then you'll call us in, okay?
I did try to call you. I was under a zombie attack.
You might not think so, but we're a team.
A team?
That's what I think.
What does this team you speak of?
I'm interested in you and Zach.
TM?
I don't want anything to happen to you before I hear more about you two.
About that. Why do I get the feeling there's going to be more zombies in the
York, I mean, an appreciation and thank you would have been nice.
Maybe he doesn't know how to answer.
That's another thing that I noticed. Your suit had, I think, the green tie, but now for this section, you have the red one.
I'll explain in a bit too. Hold on.
Maybe it's York's persona outfit. Then when he goes into Mementos.
When he goes into the
there you go.
he dresses like that.
There you go. See, guys, Emily wants to know more about us.
I'd like to see York handling all that shit, to be honest.
What shit?
The metaverse in Persona 5.
Oh, that, yeah.
I think he'd like it.
Getting a mask straight ripped from his face.
So yeah.
Actually, that makes me wonder, what would York's palace be like?
Hold on, yes, Pedro?
Anyway, yeah, new development. Emily is interested in us, so...
Oh, what the hell?
We'll get back to this.
It's
remember, Shira, we're Zach, so yeah, she is interested in us. She wants to know more about us, apparently.
Also, the painting fell.
It was spooky.
Anyway, basically what happened was a glitch that has always been in this game, although it got more frequent in later ports, that sometimes York's tie will start clipping through his body. And become kind of a thing that doesn't get fixed until the game enters a loading screen. And it happened to me during that cutscene we just saw. So what I did is I re-recorded that cutscene and added it in just for the purpose of not having that glitch distract anybody.
Okay.
There's plenty of other glitches to do that in this game as is.
Fortunately, in the original 360 version, it's a rare glitch. It only happens like once in a blue moon. Unfortunately, in the toy box ports, the frequency got increased. Don't ask me. It's just
because that's a good sign of quality when a port actually makes a glitch worse.
All right.
Okay, so I know that.
So, who here has seen The Ring?
Me.
Not me.
I know the deal.
Is that the one with that fake stereotype on the TV?
Very good. Very good.
7 days
Yes.
when the girl exits the well and kills you.
Fun fact, that's Lilo, by the way.
And that's her voice actress.
Yep.
Except in here, she comes out of the vent.
They float.
And she's naked this time.
They really all float.
Aw, ain't she a cutie?
I expect we disagree on these, Jova.
I better get something to eat soon, Zach, by the way.
Not the time!
Not the time to be worrying about you.
That's your fault as you see a nude naked woman demon about to try and come in.
He suffers from Ghibliitis, and he just looks at this and is like, oh, that was weird.
That's the thing, Teo. Later on, as already shown to us by the Premonition 2, he's been dealing with this kind of shit for years at this point. This is Friday as far as he's concerned.
Maybe he likes eating zombie flesh. You know, he's just hungry.
So like I said, I know that these combat sequences were tacked on, but I do have to wonder, did they at least bother to eventually explain these story-wise?
I think Pedro told us yes. No.
Well, okay, they do say that this is the other world, and it's heavily implied, as we've seen, that this is the world of the dead, because we even saw Anna in the hospital one. The problem is they keep it. They can never go into. Again, it's clear that they added this last minute in the script and didn't bother creating an entire subplot to explain these segments. That's the thing.
I see.
Maybe the sequel explains it. Let's see.
Hopefully, yeah, because this does seem like something that is a big deal regardless. I mean, yeah, I get it. The combat's not the best, but at this point, it's pretty much an integral enough part to the game. I feel that, they could have at least tried to explain it story-wise, because otherwise I'm just left wondering, so is this all in York's head?
No, Pedro, I actually did already ask this question before, and Pedro already told us no, it's not like that.
At this point, it doesn't seem like it, but later on, there's going to be a point where it gets confirmed that it's not on York's head. I'll not explain how, though.
So I guess my only question is, what the hell was up with that scene when the zombies were outdoors and nobody else apparently heard them?
That's the thing, Jova. This game keeps this particular element of the story intentionally vague. My guess is, again, they wanted to focus on the actual story they wanted to tell rather than elaborate on things that they didn't want to be here to begin with.
Or York's colleagues are.
Oh, and I can see that the magnificent sculpture that was in the middle of the room has turned into a hand tree. Fantastic.
Also, too, an art gallery, just like in Resident Evil 2, because the police station there used to be an art gallery.
Let's start profiling with what little we have. I mean, nothing.
What are you doing here?
Oh boy, I have a feeling Diane got the axe, didn't she?
Much more astonishing than I imagined. I'm impressed.
Not the time, lady.
So yeah, Diane saw the killer and she's even impressed with who it is.
Jesus.
And we're still on part 2 of episode 2, right?
Yeah, we're going to finish episode 2, part 2 in the next part. Yes.
So
this LP is 37 parts, right?
36 with the extra part included. 36,
okay.
yes.
So, 3 dead already.
Remember also, Jova, we spent a couple of parts about side quest stuff. And
I know.
We established that the main plot is not gonna be that long.
I know, I'm just establishing that, we're on like the second half of episode 2 and already 3 victims. Like, geez, at this rate, the bodies will be piling up.
We better start, I guess we have to try to solve this faster.
Oh boy,
gotta profile faster.
Yes.
So I see we have creepy paintings now.
Brilliant.
So even the paintings get warped into interesting art.
Just like in here when you went to visit Emil's villa first. Although that didn't really make sense.
Which is interesting because both games came out around the same time.
I guess Nier really wanted to have its haunted house level.
Yeah, it wanted. It's just that, to be fair, for that particular bit, there wasn't much of an explanation either.
Maybe the super special awesome new version will fix that. Who knows?
We'll see. All right, what the hell was that?
Basically, this living tree actually has free fruits that we can shoot out of it.
I don't know why, but that tree looks like it's
a ripe apple.
Alive.
That's because it actually is alive, Jova. Green apple.
Mean, like that tree looks like it has a beating heart and hands.
And yeah, once again, just like the last time, we have a time limit on the tree, but that's okay. There we go. The final piece of fruit right there. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, the game gives us way more time than we can possibly need. So.
Does the tree kill you if you fail?
No, you just return to the last checkpoint, aka this room. So it's not like it matters much. Don't worry, you're fine. All right, so now we have to place all the apples on the free altar. However, we don't. Okay, as far as I'm aware, there's no actual way to figure out where each apple goes where. So usually, what I do is at the time, but when I recorded this, it's been a while since.
Looking at the paintings give you a clue.
Possibly, but you can easily get around it with a process of elimination anyway, so that's what I always did.
True. It is a free item combination, so why not?
When in doubt, guess it out.
You can just keep brute force your way, and you'll still get it very quickly anyway. Without as you can see, the timer is way more than you can possibly need, so it's not like it matters really. You can easily brute force your way through this. There you go.
Okay, who's playing a copy of Resident Evil the Director's Cut in the background?
Oh yeah, it must be. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Not enough out-of-tune trumpets.
Now that I think about
Jova, without, I think it says it without spoiling because it seems to be matching what we've seen so far.
What a shock! They come from the paint. Okay, to be fair, that was actually genuinely creepy.
And there you go.
Oh snap! The music.
Well, the music wasn't really fitting. The music tries to be more actiony rather than being unsettling.
Why are you turning your back to a zombie?
Die! Taste America! I've come here to free you. But no, I think it says it without spoiling. The Daily Premonition official wiki talks about essentially what Pedro said. The only other thing that ends is between midnight and 6 a.m. The outside world also turns into the other world. So basically be careful when you go outside.
So does anyone else notice it though, or is it just York?
Considering York has basically imposed, a mini quarantine, allowing everyone staying in their houses in the night and especially when it rains, I don't know.
So
I guess
Pedro,
we'll have to find out later, I guess.
So Pedro, does this actually happen in-game if, like, per se, you stay up past midnight?
Yes.
Oh, snap. So, I guess sleeping in really does wonders.
Basically, if you go out on the streets of Greenville at midnight, not only will zombies show up to try and eat you, but giant doggos with red eyes will attack you.
Wait. Is that why George has a phobia against dogs?
Possibly.
Like maybe he went out too late at night and one of those things.
Honestly, I mean, it's probably just a gameplay thing. I'm formulating already a theory on my own on who the killer might be, but it's still too early.
Well, I get that. I'm just speculating on why George may have a fear of dogs.
Alright, let's profile with these Red Seed.
So basically, this game is essentially hardcore Minecraft. Do not go out at night.
So it was you. Much more astonishing.
Makes my comment about York eating zombie flesh a bit more.
So it was you, huh? I'll keep my words intentionally vague so that the player doesn't figure out who you are yet.
Thank you.
Classic murder mystery trope.
Like the killer showed up in front of Diane, and then I was like, surprised, and then George like, shh, keep it spoiler free. Oh, okay. So it was you.
So much for Diane being the culprit. It figures. I'm noticing a pattern. Whenever a character who is suspicious becomes more suspicious, that character usually ends up being the next victim.
Another classic murder mystery trope, basically to throw the viewer off and say, "Oh, these were your suspicions. Well, fuck you." Not in a malicious way, just throwing them off to having them to restart.
It's called a red herring.
Yeah, I get you.
Which is interesting because there's so many red things in this game. Yeah, red herring is just one more to add to the pile.
Now, I will say this. Despite how tacked on these combat sections are, I do appreciate the aesthetic they try to go for, creating warped and haunted versions of levels that you've been to.
It's very similar to Silent Hill's transformation between a normal place to a demented one of the city.
Yeah, the atmosphere is pretty much inspired by Silent Hill, like I said.
If only we could have Akira Yamaoka composing for these.
So, Pedro, if you're going to show us gameplay-wise what it's like out on the town from, 12 to 6?
There's actually a point later on where you have to in the main story, so you'll see it regardless.
Alright.
So we'll get to deal with those dogs, too.
Yes.
So I wonder if the city looks like, I don't know, Thunder Mesa.
Usually what I do when I'm driving at midnight is I just run the fuck away from the doggos because those things terrify me. So because you'll be basically you'll be driving and then suddenly a doggo falls from the sky and it's huge and it scares the crap out of you.
Jesus!
Oh wow!
Even while you're driving, you're not safe.
These are not good boys.
Pull the trigger, York.
Hey! It's self-defense, okay?
To serve and protect.
Look, no, I agree. Despite what The Last of Us Part 2 would have you believe, yes, self-defense is a thing that exists.
Yep.
True. Oh god, can you imagine if this game tried to imply that York was the bad guy? The zombies were really the good guy.
No.
You killed someone's dog, York.
Isn't that what I Am Legend does?
Oh god. Not really. I Am Legend kind of establishing right from the get-go that the zombies, really were human beings. And Will Smith's character is trying to establish a cure, but
a broken stiletto heel.
Oh, it's the missing piece.
A stiletto heel shoe broken. Becky must have sent these with her letter. Remember, she sent these things with the thing. So yeah.
I only ever saw the trailers for that movie, and I did not know it was a zombie movie. Couldn't tell that from any of the ones we got around here.
It's sort of a zombie movie, but also something different, shall we say.
It's one of those...
Will Smith has to carry it for the most part, and the results are mixed, to say the least.
It's one of those things where the marketing kind of hit a big part of the movie, kind of like how Onward's marketing, for some ungodly reason, didn't advertise the Dungeons and Dragons aspect of the story, but whatever.
Okay. I'll give I Am Legend credit. It made sense there why they were hiding it, and at least it was done in a more tasteful way. Unlike certain other games that unlike other certain bouts of entertainment that I could mention.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting thing. Recently, I've been seeing really extreme things for trailers. Like the ones you just mentioned, but there's the other extreme where they accidentally give away stuff, like
They spoil too much stuff.
like half of Sony Pictures trailers.
Bottom line, creating a trailer kind of sucks as a job. Try to avoid that.
Yeah, pretty much. There's so many classes like a trailer lying, a trailer telling the truth but telling too much, a trailer blatantly hiding stuff from the audience, which can send mixed messages, and then a trailer that's pretty much advertising a completely different product.
And like there are special cases where it can work, like with Metal Gear Solid 2, where the entire theme of that that game is deception and how digital information is utterly unreliable. So Kojima literally, okay, I'll prove that point by doing it to the player. And so it was for the sake of making a point and prove that the message of the movie has merit. Of the story, sorry.
And then there are the trailers that are based off of outdated versions of the movie. A popular example is actually Frozen. Believe it or not, the very first trailer Frozen implied what?
Oh, that's the thing, Joe. I know what you're gonna say now because they mostly focused on Olaf and stuff like that. That's the thing, Joe. That's the thing that Disney has been done even with Tangled. If you go back and check the trailers for Tangled, they mostly focus on Flynn and they just try to make it. Oh, this is like a high octane swashbuckling adventure with Flynn, the guy, and there's this little girl called Rapunzel. But don't worry, she's not important. You know.
But I think I remember what John was saying. The fact that one of the first teaser for Frozen was entirely about Olaf and the Moose character.
There's actually a reason. There's actually a reason for that too, because and this is a stated intention, by the way. Princess and the Frog's middling box office results led Disney marketing to conclude that the reason the movie wasn't the big hit they wanted was not because it premiered right alongside Avatar. It's because boys don't want to go see princess movies. So in their infinite wisdom, they decided to hide the fact that Rapunzel at the time, it was called Rapunzel at the time, was a.
What the hell is it?
Oh, look at that! Yet another inverted peace mark. But yeah, so they decided to hide the fact that it was a princess movie. So they told them to change the title from Rapunzel to Tangled, and the marketing focused entirely on Flynn because boys like brave swashbuckling heroes. So we're gonna focus on him and stuff like that. Same thing with Frozen Tale. They wanted to hide the fact. They wanted to hide the fact that Frozen was a sisterhood movie because boys don't like stories about sisters. Apparently.
I'll mention more after the profiling because I think we corrected all the clues.
Allow me to actually finish what I was going to say, though. Believe it or not, while the examples you brought up are very good, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the Frozen trailer that implied that Elsa was going to be the bad guy of Frozen. Get this, there was actually an original draft of the movie where she was going to be the villain.
Just like in the original tale.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer showcased that. But imagine my surprise when it turns out, oh no, that's not the case. Well, I mean, okay, we sort of learned that over the course of later shows.
I'll explain that.
Let me tell you, it was some big whiplash.
I actually have an explanation for that, but I'll say it after this.
Okay. I love how Diane's reaction is that her blood is so red. Like, granted, maybe she was suffering from blood loss and that's why she wasn't thinking straight, but
she was actually interested in how death experience is like.
Diane kind of strikes me as the kind of person who probably would, yeah. Hello?
Hand. Ghost hand.
That was the end of
the ghost
hand. Because it's horror.
Alright, so that was...
Pedro, you wanted to explain...
Well, actually, Theo had something to say first. Go ahead.
No, something very quick. Again, even before that, there was the first marketing of Chicken Little that had, nothing at all. It was just saying, this is going to be the next big Disney hero, and there's Chicken Little doing the Dragostead Tay dance for 5 seconds before getting squashed by a manhole. That tell nothing about the movie and pissed off everyone. But anyway, we'll find more about these ghosts in the next part.
Yes. Let me just quickly say, basically, what happened is, Jova, Frozen actually started development in 2008 when Lasseter convinced Chris Buck, who is one of the co-directors of the Frozen franchise, to make the movie. However, basically, it wasn't. The story wasn't. Again, he ran into the same problems that Walt and his team did, because Walt and his team did try to make an adaptation back in their day. The story was not working as well as they wanted, and eventually, 1 year, Jova, 1 year before the movie premiered, Jennifer Lee partnered with Chris Buck, and they reworked the entire story into a better. And that's why the marketing had that problem, because they realized basically there was a panic where holy crap, it's kind of like a Toy Story 2 scenario, like where the movie was okay. This is just not good. We're gonna have to crunch and try our best to fix this problem because the story's not working. So it was a similar case in that regard.
It's funny you mention that, Pedro. From what I've seen from the Into the Unknown documentary, history kind of repeated itself with the sequel.
Yeah, it's because of they weren't able to crack Show Yourself quite yet, but they managed to at the very end.
To give you an idea, they were still not done with this shit.
The original
up to a couple of months before the movie was supposed to premiere.
It's because the original idea was for the voice that's calling Elsa to be left ambiguous, and it's all about Elsa discovering her identity, so it doesn't matter who's calling her. But then on story meetings, the other filmmakers at the studio said, I don't know, it feels like it's a bit not satisfying enough. We need some kind of payoff for the voice. And then we can have it be the mom, and it's a reprise of the ballad at the beginning of the movie. So again, this is common in animated films. There's a lot of reworkings until you arrive at the final stuff. So it's not, even back in the Walt Disney Golden Age, they had stuff like that. This is just common. But yeah, everybody, tune in next part where we go for an extravagant 52-minute part where we'll finish this dungeon, and after that, immediately we'll get dropped with 45 minutes of big plot developments and character development. So,
sweet.
Sounds like fun.
So strap yourself in for that.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.